They say Napoleon was born on an island, Corsica, a place surrounded by the whisper of waves. Long before he ruled men, he listened to the sea. The ocean spoke to him not in words, but in the rhythm of tides. Rise, fall, rise again. That rhythm became his heartbeat, his destiny. From the beginning, he was never truly a man of land. The soil was too small for his dreams. He needed something greater, something endless. The ocean showed him that greatness is not measured by borders, but by the courage to cross them. Like an ancient Viking, he believed that fate was not given, it was taken. He built ships, armies, empires, not to possess them, but to fight against the limits of man. Yet the sea he carried inside him was wild. It whispered glory, but it also whispered ruin. Every tide that rises must one day break. As his empire grew, so did the silence inside him. That deep, blue silence that no victory could fill. Perhaps he felt it most on the nights before battle, when the camp was quiet and the stars looked like reflections on water. He had seen too much to sleep, and maybe, in those moments, he remembered the sea, the one place where ambition and peace could exist together. But destiny, like the ocean, gives no mercy. The same waves that lift you can drag you down. Waterloo was not a battlefield, it was a storm. And in that storm, the ocean finally called him home. Exiled to a lonely island, he stood once more before the sea. The man who had once commanded millions now listened to the wind and the waves. Every morning, he walked to the cliffs. Every evening, the ocean answered him with its endless breath. They say he spoke little in those days, but maybe he didn't need to. The ocean understood. He had chased horizons all his life. Now he had found one he could never reach. And for the first time, that was enough. In his final years, he wasn't a conqueror or an emperor. He was what he had always been, an oceanic soul, a Viking of destiny, caught between storms and silence. The sea took him, not as a prisoner, but as a brother. It gave him what no crown could, peace. And even now, when the waves crash against forgotten shores, you can almost hear him. The echo of a man who rose like a tide, who fell like the rain, and who became one with the ocean he loved. The sea never keeps the dead. It returns them, in ways we cannot see, as wind, as whispers, as waves that speak in silence. After Napoleon's body was laid to rest, the ocean did not forget. Some nights, when the mist rolls over St. Helena, sailors swear they see a shadow standing by the cliffs, looking toward the horizon, still waiting for a fleet that never came. But he is not waiting anymore. He has become the horizon itself. The sea did not take him. It transformed him. His soul dissolved into the tides, scattered across the vast blue world. He became the voice in every storm that drives men forward, the pulse in every heart that refuses to surrender. To conquer land is simple. To conquer the sea within yourself, that is the final empire. The sailors of old believed that every great soul finds its vessel after death, a ship of light, carried by the currents of eternity. And they say one such ship still sails beneath the moon, its sails woven from memory and thunder. Some call it the Emperor's Tide. They say that when the ocean rages and lightning splits the sky, a figure walks across the water, not as a ghost, but as a storm given shape. His steps do not sink. His eyes are the color of distant horizons, and wherever he passes, the waves bow. He does not speak of war. He speaks of peace earned through struggle, of the beauty of falling and the courage of rising again. Once, he sought to rule men. Now he guides them. Every sailor who faces the endless sea carries a fragment of his spirit, that defiant spark that whispers, "Go further." Even those who have never heard his name feel him. In every voyage begun without a map, in every storm survived by faith, in every dream too vast for land to hold, the ocean remembers its sons. And Napoleon, the oceanic Viking, became more than a man. He became a current, a legend, a tide that moves unseen through time. And maybe that is the true victory. Not to rule, not to conquer, but to become part of something that never ends. When the waves crash against the cliffs, they still carry his story, not of crowns or battles, but of a spirit too wild to die. The sea does not whisper, it calls. It tempts men like Napoleon to believe they can rule its storms, but the ocean is not ruled. It only listens and remembers. Every conqueror who looks into it sees his own reflection, proud, fragile, destined to sink. Napoleon did not fall at Waterloo. He fell into the waves of his own ambition. The ocean has always been a place of conquest, endless, silent, and merciless. Some say Napoleon was a man of land, a general of empires and maps. But what if, deep inside, he was an oceanic soul, a Viking reborn in a world of muskets and crowns? His empire was not just Europe. It was the human will itself, vast, dangerous, untamed like the sea. Every wave rises to fall. Every emperor rises to drown. The ocean never dies, and neither do its warriors. Napoleon's story is not about war or power. It's about the eternal tide within the human heart. The need to rise, to fall, to begin again. He was not a man of land. He was an oceanic Viking, lost between history and eternity. And as long as the waves exist, so does his echo. When the waves crash against the cliffs, they still carry his story, not of crowns or battles, but of a spirit too wild to die. Napoleon, the oceanic Viking, the man who never truly left the sea.